Welcome to Working Progress. This is the podcast where we dive into strategies for success and journey towards progress. So, what does it really mean to grow a business without burning out the people who make it work? And how could leaders keep momentum high while protecting their best performers? Today, we're exploring one of the biggest challenges organizations face during periods of growth: burnout. What it looks like, why it happens, and how leaders can prevent it before it starts impacting performance and morale. We're joined by Steve Doyle, who brings deep insight into leadership, engagement, and human behavior. His work helps leaders go beyond surface level performance to understand what truly drives people, especially in times of pressure and change. In this episode, we'll talk about why high performers and middle managers are often the first to feel burnout, how to tell the difference between healthy stress and something that's more serious, how leaders can adjust expectations without lowering standards, and how understanding individual strengths, drivers, and behaviors can help teams stay energized and focused as they grow. So let's get started. Steve, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Yeah. Well, can you just start us off by sharing a little bit about your background?
So as I shared, I'm recovering.
Yeah.
I'm a recovering engineer. So we can definitely talk that if you really want.
Yes.
But that's easy.
Yes.
Honestly, for me, engineering, that's easy.
Okay.
The people stuff,
it's harder.
that's a lot harder.
Yes.
That's a lot harder.
People are complex.
So I was an engineer, did that for almost 20 years.
Wow.
Before we broke out and worked on developing people.
Okay.
So that's been quite the journey. It's been quite fun.
Well, it's a big switch. What made you decide to go from engineering
Right?
to people?
So a lot of it was around this.
Okay.
With burnout, stress.
Yes.
At a point in my career, right, where we're in leadership, and you're really looking at what does it really take to get people to motivate people, to get people to do stuff. And especially from an engineering perspective, typically your best engineers are who is promoted up into leadership. They're good at what they do.
Okay.
But can they actually lead people?
Yeah. That's very interesting.
And so we saw large gaps in how people were promoted, why they were promoted, because they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
But there's no training, no development, no opportunities to help people in how to actually lead people.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we saw is when in most places, businesses were just forcing people, they wanted business to grow. And so it was an iron fist. And what we realized is businesses can't grow unless people grow first.
Yes.
And so
Absolutely.
when people can grow, your business takes off.
Yep.
And that was the catalyst to make the change, make the jump from engineer to coach.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
Well, and clearly 20 years ago, it's done you well.
Yeah, it has.
Love it.
Yes. So.
Well, as we are talking about leaders, when leaders feel pressure to grow faster with fewer resources, burnout is often the first thing to show up. And that's a big hidden cost. So why do you think it happens so consistently? If we know that, we got to grow people, why are we pushing people too hard?
Well, so it's a great question. And it's often because that's not where we're thinking first. So as leaders, owners of companies, executives, C-suites, what are we driven by? We're driven by bottom line profitability.
Yep.
We've got to produce results.
Yep.
And oftentimes that is our default mode that we get into is it's a reaction to a very specific thing. And who do we turn to do those things?
Yep.
We turn to our top performers. It's not because they're the only option. It's because they're the most dependable.
Yes.
So because we push for that speed, what do we miss? We miss alignment.
Yeah.
And that's where everything starts to break down.
Okay.
Because we don't have alignment, right? When our systems, they're not clear.
Yes.
We start to default into the overcompensating, over-pushing, overbearing modes that have traditionally we've observed in the work environment because nobody's actually trained us on how to do stuff. So high performers, they step in and they start carrying the load and nobody really sees what they're holding on to.
Yeah.
And it's not sustainable because now those top performers, they become silent.
Yeah. And that's dangerous.
Exactly. And that's where burnout actually starts, is in that silence, because they're holding on to everything. Right? We look at the burnout, right? And we think, oh, it's all volume.
Yeah.
But it's not volume. Not at all. It's all around the misalignment of the goals, the purpose.
Okay.
Right? So when people, they don't see how their grind is actually connects to the something meaningful.
Yeah.
That's where they just have this feeling of like, nobody cares. And so quietly, our top performers, they start to fade out. So we often ask leaders, like where in your org are you driving growth without reinforcing your purpose?
Okay.
And most times, what do you think they say?
It's too much. A lot of times people say, there's no alignment, kind of like what you were saying, where I'm still maybe doing my other job and not really sure. I'm just trying to do too much because again, there's the alignment isn't there.
Right. And then when we say that, like when we ask them that, sometimes they're silent. And then we ask them, well, who's picking up the slack that nobody's noticing?
They're still picking it up.
Somebody is still picking it up, but nobody's noticing and nobody's reaching out. And that is where we see, that's kind of like the precipice for burnout to happen.
Okay. Very interesting.
Yeah.
So from your experience, what does it look like to grow a business well then without burning out your best people?
Right. That's really the $1 million question, isn't it? Isn't it? Right. And we can answer it very simply.
Okay.
It's around clarity of the roles.
Yeah.
Right. It's the rhythm of how we're going to execute. Because if we don't have clarity and we don't have rhythm, we have chaos.
Yeah.
And the trifecta, the third part, which I know we'll get into in a little bit, right? But it's our motivators, our individual motivators. If we don't really ask those questions of, what more can people do when we understand their motivators, right? We come away with, people that are just like, I'm just doing another task.
Yep. Just check a box.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So when we're coaching people, we're going to ask them a series of questions. It's more of like, where do your people actually have clarity on their roles and their expectations, what they're measured on?
Yep.
Some people will say, well, yeah, they know what to do. Well, let's go ask.
How's it being measured too?
Exactly. And when people don't know, like you find they're off doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And then what does that lead to? Like animosity, anger, angst. Like, why are these people not doing their thing, right? The other thing that most leaders don't ask is, how are we playing to those people's strengths?
Yeah.
And this we see all over the place. Well, do you know why this person's motivated? Well, I offered him more money. I gave him more time off.
Might not be what they're motivated by.
Most people, while that's nice, guess what? A week later, you got the same attitude, the same problems.
Yes.
So they're not motivated by money and they're not motivated by time off.
What is it then?
Exactly. And so we see that so often.
Okay.
With our leaders. And kind of like the last question that we never see anybody ask is, how are you allowing your people to recover?
Yeah.
And if you let that sit, and I want you guys to think about that, it's like, after something is done, how are you allowing your people just to kind of come back to be grounded, be centered?
Yeah.
And some people, they're motivated by the task. They're motivated by keep going, keep loading my plate up. Other people are like, no, I just need
nothing. Just leave me alone for a day, right?
Yeah, exactly. I need that, right? So leaders actually should stop asking, like, how much more can I get from my team? And really start asking, what's getting in the way of their best work?
Yeah.
And as a leader, it's our responsibility to remove those barriers.
Absolutely.
So
That's very interesting. So we talked about our high performers
Yep.
and especially even our middle managers.
Yeah.
Why are they often the first ones to feel burnout during a period of growth?
Yeah. So it's often because they're the ones that are taking everything on.
Okay.
And they're also the ones that never complain.
Okay.
Because they're viewed as the high performers, right? Our leaders and our executives, they have their tasks, they have their things. But our high performers, middle managers, they not only have to communicate to their teams, they have to communicate up. So they're communicating both ways.
Yeah.
And they have nobody they can turn to and talk to help carry that burden. Because if they talk to somebody else, they're viewed as complaining. Right? You're just whining. You're just complaining. You don't have a safe space to talk through those things. So what are they taught to do?
Keep it in.
Just shut up and do your job.
Yep.
Like that's what we pay you to do.
And
often
it's interesting too, because like you said, you have to communicate up and you have to communicate with your team too. So it's communicating with two different people on two different levels.
Right.
And depending on your behavioral style, that might push you outside of your comfort zone and stress you out even more.
Right. And what gets even better is 90+% of the time, clarity is not there. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to figure out everything and they can't go ask questions up because they don't have supportive leadership, because it's just get it done. I need it done. This is your timeline. Get it done. I pay you to be the leader.
Yeah.
Get it done. And most times this is what we see. It doesn't matter the industry. Ironically, it doesn't matter if you're in healthcare, doesn't matter if you're in automotive, doesn't matter if you're in trades. It's what we see time and time again. Why? Because these are all learned behaviors because nobody has sat down and actually walked through and showed leaders, this is actually how you would lead people with purpose.
Okay.
And with meaning.
I like that. Leading with purpose and meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between normal stress or, just being busy? We're all busy. It's a busy world.
We're all busy.
Why is that distinction so important for leaders to really understand?
Yeah. Well, let's just look at stress itself. Is stress bad?
Not necessarily.
Exactly. What stress is really telling us is I have a lot of stuff to do.
Yep.
And on my mind, I'm thinking about all these things that I've got to do. I've got to get stuff done. Difference is what burnout says, none of this matters. What I'm doing no longer matters. All right. The one need is that reconnection. It's that connection to whatever the purpose is. But the interesting part is the purpose, the common purpose. It's good to understand the common purpose. What people miss is the individual motivation for people to connect to that purpose. Like, why does this matter to me? Why does this matter to you?
Yeah.
Like, because why it matters is completely different for you, completely different for me. And we don't get down into those levels. Why? Because now I have to talk to someone.
Yep.
Right? So stress, it's not the enemy, right? With support, it actually builds capacity, builds capability.
Okay.
In the right ways.
Yep.
Right? So, but burnout, that's where people go numb.
Yeah. They
stop caring.
Yeah.
And
not good.
No, not in an organization, right? So let's look at like I want you to think about a time, right, where someone on your team, they've gone from passionate to passive. Have you ever seen it?
I have.
And when you've seen it, what comes to mind when you initially see that? The passion to passive.
I feel bad as a manager. I go, I'm making them do something that I know they're not really passionate about. And it's just they're checking a box for the company. And so I feel bad. And as a manager, then I turn to how can I help?
Yeah.
What can I do to support that person? Whether it's taking over emailing somebody, even the little things really make a difference because I want this person to be really passionate about what they're doing,
Yeah.
because when you're passionate about it, you bring the energy to everything you do. And when you're in front of clients and people are paying you, you want to make sure you're bringing the energy.
Right.
So when I ask somebody, I also am asking, how can I support? I'm going to take a back seat as a manager. And like I said, it's those little things. It's sending a morning message saying, hey, I know you're starting today, kick butt. That helps. It might seem little, but making sure that if I know I'm doing something, I'm asking my employee, this isn't where you want to be. How can I support you? And it's those little things.
Absolutely.
So it's yes, we all do it, but we have to think outside of the box too.
100%.
I know for me, I'm just going to do it this way, but you've already said it. Maybe some person, I'm going to offer you more money, but that's not going to motivate everybody the same way.
Correct.
So what are some early warning signs then that leaders should really be watching out for when burnout starts to impact somebody's performance?
Yeah. So let's make this real for a moment. Okay. Right? People are looking for those grand, big things that come up, but that's not what happens.
Yeah.
We have to look at the subtle nuances. When somebody that's vocal, they go quiet. Like if you notice, like let's say somebody's really outgoing, they're really engaging, and you normally hear from them, and now all of a sudden you're like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What's going on? You okay? Yeah, everything's fine.
No, it's not.
No, it's not, right? We need to pause, right? Somebody that gives you like a really detailed report, and now it's just a simple bullet point, not really talking, just here, move on.
Yep.
Right? Just kind of placating, moving things through.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the time. I don't want to talk, right? Look at humor when it turns to sarcasm.
Okay.
Right? Those are all things we need to pay attention to. They're subtle nuances that you might just think, oh, somebody's having a bad day.
Yeah.
Right?
We all have those. We're allowed to have bad days.
We all have bad days, but when it shows up continuously, we have to pause. And the other thing we have to do is we have to check in with that person, because most times we're not immediately checking in. We allow them to sit in the stew that they're brewing. And you're just kind of like, this isn't going well. I hope they can course correct.
And if there's a problem, why don't they just come to me? Why don't they just talk to me? I tell them that I'm here.
Right.
But that's not the way
it works.
Well,
that's not the way that people are like, hey, if you notice, why aren't you throwing me a life raft, a vat, like something? Yep. Like, help me out. I'm drowning here. But again, if we're looking at our high performers and our middle managers that are just used to taking stuff on, and they want to prove themselves, they view it as a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
And we have to really look at that as leaders and go, that's not a sign of weakness. That's a sign of, for us, that's shame on us.
Yes.
That we're not able to help teach you, help coach you through those moments, that it's okay.
Yep.
Because what do they then do? And what do they convey to their team? Nobody's here to help.
Yeah.
And you have to go find that help all on your own.
Yeah. And that's not what being a team or an organization is truly about.
Exactly. And being a recovering engineer, right? I've had to deal with data.
Yeah. A little bit.
Just a little bit, right? Behavior's data. Why has behavior changed? And that is really the simplistic thing to look at. Behavior has changed. What happened?
Yeah.
And then how can I impact it? So look at the energy, not execution.
Okay. So how can leaders adjust those expectations, communication, and workload without lowering the standards or slowing that momentum down?
Yeah. This is where the smart leaders show up.
Okay.
All right. It's not about doing less. It's really about doing what matters, conveying it back to the purpose.
Okay.
But on an individual level.
Yes.
That's where the smart leaders excel. And those that just wear it as a title fall short.
Yeah.
Right. So you can't scale by doing everything, but you scale by doing the right things. And you can't do the right things unless you have a conversation.
Exactly. It's about communication.
Exactly.
Really.
Yeah. but on a personal, human, one-to-one.
Yeah.
Not, oh, I'm going to send an email. I'm going to have AI write it.
No, that doesn't work.
It doesn't work at all because it's just like, oh, here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we make that connection and show how what they're doing actually truly matters?
Okay. So then what role does really understanding those individual strengths, what somebody's drivers, what their behaviors play really in preventing burnout?
Oh, it's so huge because it's not just about how much work somebody does. It's about really doing the wrong work.
Yeah.
Done the wrong way for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Right. So when you really think about it, that's why we have DISC, we have driving forces.
Yes.
Right. So DISC actually shows us how people behave and how they behave under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And our driving forces, they actually show us what sustains people over time. How do we actually help keep them motivated?
Yeah.
So I get goosebumps because this is exciting.
This is
This is the exciting stuff for me, right? But we have to lead people based on how they're wired.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just, not how we wish they were, not through some blanket statements. Oh, you're just going to do it this way because this is the way I want it to be done. No, you actually have to connect, figure out what energizes people.
Yep.
What actually drains them? Ask them what drains them.
Yeah.
Right. We were talking a little bit before, a little earlier, right? I am an engineer, right? And if we look at my DISC profile, my C's really low, super low. So I can do data engineering. I can look at the data. I can't for a period of time. But if I had to do that day in, day out, we're throwing haymakers all day.
Yep.
Like we're irritated.
You're exhausted at the end of the day.
But I can do it.
Yep. Absolutely.
But I can't do it for a month. I can't do it for 2 weeks. I can maybe do it for a day, 2 days tops.
Yeah.
Right. But again, if you don't understand that in your people, asking them to do something, your high performers are going to say, sure, I can do this. And then behind the scenes, they're freaking out. They're working long hours. They're stressed. Because that's the expectation that they take that on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what happens if burnout has already started to show up? What are some of those practical next steps leaders can take to minimize the impact on the team, the morale, and really help regain that clarity?
Yeah. First thing, acknowledge it.
Okay.
Don't sugarcoat it. Step right up. Don't spin it. Look, let's just have a conversation. I realize as leader, I've been pushing really hard.
Yeah.
And I really want to help you understand, like, you matter.
Yeah.
But do this. This is not in a group. This is all one-to-one. Because you have to deal with everybody
on an individual
basis on how they prefer to communicate. And you're communicating and trying to understand how they are wired.
Okay.
Right? You should already know this. You should.
Yeah.
You should. But if you don't take the time to actually have a conversation, you're going to actually see them. You're going to see weight lifted off you're literally going to physically see weight lifted off their shoulder that they now feel like you care, they've been heard. They're going to fight harder for you because of that, because you help relay that.
Yeah.
But also, you have to look at how you can help them remove something off their plate.
Yeah.
Clear the path for them because obviously they're stuck with something. How can you help them remove that? As a leader, that is our real job.
True. Yep.
Remove those barriers, help them to succeed. Because Fridays off aren't the cure.
No.
They're nice.
Yeah.
But guess what? Nothing happened on Friday at all. It's still there on Monday.
It is. How are they going to show up on Monday? How are they walking out the door, driving their car, going into work?
Right. Right. So number one, we got to acknowledge it too. We just have to have a conversation.
Okay. So
simple, hard.
Yes. But the simple things tend to be hard.
Hard. Yes.
So last question.
Uh-huh.
What's one mindset shift or action that leaders can take right now to protect their best people while still driving growth?
Well, let's look at it somewhat simply because most time, and I'm going to talk like I've done this before.
Okay.
I have said, just suck it up, buttercup. Just handle it. And as a leader, that's not right. We have to stop thinking that way. We actually, it's not leadership. That's actually neglect
Yeah.
with a title. Okay. Right. The shift is to go from those assumptions to intention.
Okay.
Right. So be intentional. Ask them, sit down, have those conversations. Right. If you're looking for something actionable, I want you to pick one person this week.
Okay.
Well, for you, maybe next week. Maybe next week, right? One person that you've heavily relied on.
Okay.
And I want you to do something. I want you to actually check in with them.
Okay.
And I want, not as a manager, but as a human that actually cares, display some empathy.
Yeah.
In my case, my wife would say, you're going to display tactical empathy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But ask them, like, what actually is energizing you right now?
Okay.
What's draining you?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the one thing I can do to help you win this week?
Okay.
Watch the shift in how they see you and what their expectations are.
Okay.
And do it frequently.
Okay. Weekly, monthly? What do you think?
Or do I think?
Yeah.
I am more of a person that's on the fly. So I will, as I notice things, it could be every other day initially.
Okay.
Just, hey, help me. But I don't want that to become quote unquote habit.
Yeah.
Right. As a leader. But those impromptu meetings, they don't have to take time. I don't schedule them. Okay. I don't have a set time because this isn't a performance review. This isn't a cry session. This isn't this is something where I just hey, I'm showing interest in you. I'm taking time out. You know, the perception is I'm taking time out of my day.
Okay.
It's not scheduled.
Okay.
That's the other important, like, I'm not scheduling time. I'm taking my time.
Okay.
I'm taking intentional time to sit with you to see how you're doing.
Okay.
And to see what we can do, like what's a win that you're hoping to get to this week? How can I help you do that?
Okay. So be an intentional leader.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that wraps up our episode of Working Progress. A big thank you to you, Steve, for sharing your insight into how leaders can support growth without sacrificing their people. And if you found today's conversation valuable, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, or share this episode with a colleague or fellow leader. Your support helps us continue to bring these meaningful conversations to life. And remember, burnout isn't a weakness, it's a signal. And leaders who understand their people, communicate with clarity, and align work with what truly motivates their teams can create environments where performance and well-being grow together. As always, thank you for listening. And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep making progress. Take care, everyone.